For centuries, we've gazed at the stars and wondered, are we alone? Today, September 14th, 2025, that question just got a lot more urgent. An object in the Kuiper Belt, unlike anything we've ever seen, is broadcasting signals. What is it? Who sent them? And what do they mean for our future? This isn't just astronomy, it's a potential revelation. Something massive is lurking in the outer edges of our solar system, and it's trying to communicate. The signals are structured, repetitive, and completely unlike anything natural we've ever detected. Welcome back to Space Prime. Today we're investigating a discovery that could change everything we thought we knew about our cosmic neighborhood, the Kuiper Belt enigma. The Kuiper Belt has always been considered a frozen graveyard, a collection of icy remnants left over from our solar system's formation 4.6 billion years ago. It's home to Pluto, countless asteroids, and chunks of rock and ice that never quite made it into full planets. It should be quiet, cold, and predictable, but recent observations from multiple astronomical facilities have shattered that assumption. Deep space monitoring stations detected gravitational anomalies, suggesting a massive object that somehow escaped our notice for decades. We're talking about something potentially larger than Pluto, sitting in a region we thought we'd thoroughly mapped. The first clue came from orbital irregularities in known Kuiper Belt objects. Several asteroids and dwarf planets showed subtle changes in their paths that could only be explained by the gravitational influence of something much larger nearby. When astronomers pointed their most powerful telescopes toward the calculated position, they found it, a dark, massive object that barely reflects sunlight. Initial data reveals energy fluctuations that make no sense for a dead chunk of ice and rock. The object shows thermal signatures that suggest internal activity, despite being billions of miles from the sun, where temperatures should be near absolute zero. There's no geological process we know of that could generate this kind of heat so far from any energy source. But the real mystery isn't the object itself, it's what it's doing. This massive body in the outer reaches of our solar system is actively emitting structured signals, and those signals are unlike anything we've ever encountered in nature. Decoding the mysterious transmissions. The signals detected from this Kuiper Belt object are keeping scientists awake at night. These aren't random bursts of radiation that you'd expect from natural phenomena like solar flares or magnetic field interactions. We're looking at highly organized, repetitive patterns that suggest deliberate structure and purpose. The transmissions occur in precise intervals, every 7 hours and 23 minutes. The object broadcasts a complex sequence of radio pulses that lasts exactly 14 minutes. The mathematical precision is impossible to ignore. Natural processes don't operate with such clockwork regularity, especially not in the chaotic environment of the outer solar system. Even more intriguing is the signal's internal structure. The transmission consists of 3 distinct phases: a short preamble that appears to be some kind of identifier or header, a long middle section with varying pulse patterns that could represent data or information, and a brief conclusion that might serve as an end marker or verification sequence. Cryptographers and linguists have joined the analysis team because the patterns show characteristics that resemble communication protocols. The signal exhibits what appears to be error correction. Certain sequences repeat with slight variations, as if the transmission is ensuring its message gets through clearly, despite interference from cosmic radiation and interplanetary dust. What makes this even more mysterious is that the signals seem to be directed. Rather than broadcasting in all directions like a natural radio source, the emissions appear focused toward specific regions of space. Some signals point toward Earth, others toward the center of our galaxy, and still others toward nearby star systems. The power required to generate these focused transmissions from such a distant location is staggering. Whatever is producing these signals has access to energy sources that dwarf anything we've observed in the Kuiper Belt before. Implications for planetary science. If confirmed as a unique celestial body, this discovery completely reshapes our understanding of how the outer solar system formed and evolved. The object's massive size and unusual position suggest it doesn't fit any existing models of planetary formation. Current theories predict that objects of this size should have either been ejected from the solar system entirely during the chaotic early period of planetary formation or captured into more regular orbits closer to the Sun. The fact that something this large has remained hidden in the Kuiper Belt suggests our models are fundamentally incomplete. The gravitational influence of this object extends much further than initially calculated. Computer simulations show that its presence could explain several long-standing mysteries in outer solar system dynamics. The unusual clustering of certain Kuiper Belt objects, the strange orbital characteristics of some trans-Neptunian bodies, and even irregularities in Neptune's orbit might all be connected to this massive, previously unknown neighbor. But the object's composition is equally puzzling. Spectroscopic analysis reveals a surface that doesn't match typical Kuiper Belt bodies. Instead of the expected mixture of ice and rock, this object shows signatures of unusual materials, possibly metallic structures or crystalline formations that shouldn't exist at these temperatures and distances from the Sun. The thermal emissions suggest the object has an internal heat source that's been active for potentially millions of years. This could indicate radioactive decay from heavy elements, but the heat signature is too stable and consistent for typical radioactive processes. Some researchers are speculating about exotic matter or unknown geological processes. Most significantly, the object's discovery opens entirely new questions about what else might be hiding in the outer solar system. If something this large escaped detection until now, what other surprises might be lurking in the darkness beyond Neptune? The search for origin and purpose. International observatories have mobilized unprecedented resources to understand what they're dealing with. The Atacama Large Millimeter Array, the Very Large Array, and space-based telescopes are all focused on this single object, gathering data around the clock. The leading hypothesis among conservative scientists is that we're looking at a primordial object, something left over from the solar system's formation, that contains unusual materials or internal structure. This could explain both its size and its energy emissions through unknown but natural geological processes. But a growing number of researchers are considering more exotic possibilities. Could this be a rogue planet that was captured by our solar system's gravity? Such objects have been detected in interstellar space, wandering between stars after being ejected from their original solar systems. The signal patterns, however, are pushing some scientists toward even more extraordinary theories. The mathematical precision, the directed transmissions, and the apparent communication structure are characteristics that some argue suggest artificial origin. Dr. Sarah Chen from MIT's Department of Planetary Sciences has gone on record saying that while she wants to find a natural explanation, the evidence is becoming increasingly difficult to reconcile with known physics. The object appears to be actively monitoring and responding to changes in its environment. The signals have shown variations that correlate with the positions of planets in our solar system. When Earth, Mars, and Jupiter align in certain configurations, the transmission patterns change subtly but measurably. This suggests whatever is generating the signals is aware of planetary positions and possibly tracking their movements. Most intriguingly, there have been 3 instances where the signals appeared to respond to human space activities. Each time a major space mission launched, including the recent James Webb Space Telescope deployment, the Kuiper Belt object's transmissions showed subtle changes in timing and structure within hours of the launch. Beyond the Kuiper Belt, what's next? The discovery of this signaling object has triggered the fastest mobilization of space science resources in decades. NASA, ESA, and private space companies are already drafting preliminary mission concepts to send probes to investigate the object directly. The technical challenges are immense. The object is over 50 times farther from the Sun than Earth, meaning any spacecraft would take decades to reach it using current propulsion technology. However, the potential scientific payoff is so enormous that breakthrough propulsion concepts are being seriously considered for the first time. Solar sail technology, nuclear pulse propulsion, and even theoretical fusion rockets are all being evaluated as ways to reach the object within a reasonable time frame. Some proposals suggest launching multiple smaller probes that could work together to provide comprehensive observations of the object and its signals. The international cooperation emerging around this discovery is unprecedented. Countries that rarely collaborate on space projects are sharing data, resources, and expertise. The European Southern Observatory, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and NASA have announced a joint task force specifically dedicated to understanding this phenomenon. But perhaps the most significant impact is philosophical rather than technical. This discovery is forcing humanity to confront the possibility that our solar system contains active, intelligent phenomena that we never suspected. Whether the signals represent natural processes we don't understand or something more extraordinary, they prove that our cosmic neighborhood is far more complex and mysterious than we imagined. The object continues broadcasting its structured signals every 7 hours and 23 minutes, maintaining its precise schedule with mechanical regularity. Each transmission brings new data, new patterns, and new questions about what lies in the darkness beyond Neptune. We may be witnessing the beginning of a new era in space science, one where our solar system reveals secrets that challenge our understanding of physics, planetary formation, and potentially the nature of intelligence itself. The signals from the Kuiper Belt are more than just a scientific curiosity. They're a reminder that the universe still holds surprises that could fundamentally change our place in the cosmos. Whatever is out there in the frozen reaches of our solar system, it's active, it's structured, and it's been waiting for us to notice. The question is, are we ready for what we might discover when we finally reach it?